Hey everyone, welcome back to Wild Farms, and today we're going to be getting into a new video. And before we get into the video, please go on and click the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's go on and get into the video. And today, this video is going to be about busting beekeeping myths. A couple months ago, I started doing these type of videos and I really enjoyed it and wanted to bring them back. The first myth, number one, is if a hive is aggressive, it's because of the genetics of the queen is mean. Now, don't get me wrong, genetics do play a part in why hives are aggressive. Genetics absolutely have an effect. A lot of new beekeepers jump straight to blaming the queen when a hive gets defensive. But temperament is a combination of factors. Yes, genetics do play a role, but hive behavior can shift because of a nectar dearth, robbing pressure, storms, predator stress, queenlessness, or even you just opening the hive way too much. A normally calm colony can turn defensive overnight if conditions around the apiary change. Requeening can help if genetics truly are the issue, but it's not a magic fix. Before blaming the queen, look at environmental stressors and colony conditions. 9 times out of 10, it's not just the queen, it's the situation. So the second myth is that bees automatically prefer sugar syrup over their natural honey. Bees don't always choose syrup first. They choose based on the colony's needs. During a flow, they'll ignore syrup completely because fresh nectar is more attractive. But when there is a dearth, bees go crazy for sugar syrup. So whenever you see bees crazy for sugar syrup on your open feeder, or even when you're feeding from the top, you know there is a dearth. Whenever they don't touch it, that means there is not a dearth and there is a very good natural flow on at that moment. Sugar syrup is just a tool we give them. It doesn't override their instincts. Bees choose the resource that fits what the colony needs at that moment. The third myth is that a colony that swarms is a weak or failing colony. Swarming is actually the opposite of failure. It's a sign that the colony is thriving. When a hive swarms, it's because the population is booming, the brood nest is strong, and the bees have enough resources to divide and reproduce. Swarming is the natural reproductive cycle of honeybees. The only reason beekeepers see it as a problem is because it reduces honey production and creates management challenges. But biologically, swarming is success. A weak colony doesn't swarm. Only a strong and healthy one has the ability to split itself and survive. So the fourth myth is that marking your queen will hurt her or cause the colony to reject her. When marking is done incorrectly, yes, you can injure a queen, but when it's done properly, it's perfectly safe. Queen breeders mark thousands every season without any increase in queen loss or supersedure. The paint dot is tiny, non-toxic, and applied gently so it doesn't interfere with her ability to move, lay eggs, or communicate with pheromones. The colony doesn't reject her simply because she's marked. They recognize her by scent, not by appearance. As long as you handle her carefully, marking a queen is safe and a very helpful tool for beekeepers. So number 5 is that if you see eggs, that means the queen is healthy and present. And I know y'all are thinking that in almost all of my videos about teaching newer beginners, I always talk about you really don't have to find the queen. All you really need to do is find eggs and you know that you've had a queen in the last 24 to 48 hours. And that is still very, very true. Seeing eggs is a great sign, but it also really doesn't mean that the hive is queen right. Workers can also lay eggs too, making it look messy. So whenever you're looking for a laying worker, most likely you'll see a whole bunch of eggs in one cell because they don't have a long abdomen to reach to the bottom of that cell and make a perfectly one egg per cell like a queen does. A queen has a long abdomen. As you can see whenever you're looking at a queen, she can reach the bottom of that cell and she can lay a perfectly egg in the middle of the cell, and you know that you have a queen. A laying worker lays a whole bunch of them and it looks very, very messy. The real test of knowing if you have a queen right hive is a solid brood pattern and the presence of worker brood, not just eggs. Eggs alone only tell you that somebody is laying, not necessarily the queen you want. The sixth myth is that small hive beetles are strong enough to kill a healthy colony. Yes, small hive beetles are a serious pest, but they don't kill strong colonies by themselves. But what they do is take advantage of weak, stressed, or underpopulated hives. A colony with good numbers and a decent queen can control and corral beetles easily. It's when the colony becomes queenless, loses population, or is robbed out that these small hive beetles explode and cause slime outs. So the myth is not that the beetles are harmless, because they are dangerous and do cause a threat to bees, but the idea they kill healthy colonies is simply false. They finish off colonies that are already struggling. So the seventh myth is that drones in late summer or fall mean the colony is failing, but this is not necessarily true. Drone timing depends on genetics and your climate. In northern areas where winter hits early, drones disappear pretty quickly, and earlier. But in warm climates like Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and all the other southern states, some colonies keep drones all the way into fall, including me because I'm down here in Alabama. This is normal behavior if the colony has a strong queen, resources, and favorable weather. Drones don't automatically signal a problem. They only become a red flag when you see excessive drones caused by a failing queen, or drone-laying workers, or even a drone-laying queen. So when you see drones, don't take it as a sign that your colony is weak, failing, or not a good thing that you have drones. Because whenever you have drones, that means your colony is strong. Your colony has to be healthy, strong, and well populated to even raise drones. So therefore, you know your colony is strong if you have drones. Just watch out for a drone-laying queen or a drone-laying worker. So the eighth myth is that any queen cell in the hive means the colony is about to swarm, and this one is a myth between mostly newer beginners. Most of us seasoned intermediate beekeepers or even a seasoned beginner knows that this isn't true. Queen cells can mean several different things, and swarming is just one of them. Supersedure cells are built when the bees want to replace an aging or failing queen. Emergency cells, on the other hand, are made when the colony suddenly becomes queenless, i.e. you accidentally smash her and she disappears suddenly. Swarm cells have a specific look and placement, usually along the bottom edges of the frame, and often in larger numbers. The myth happens when people see any queen cell and panic. The context matters. Where the cell is, how many there are, and what the colony is doing. Not all queen cells are swarm cells. So number 9 is a very common myth. And this myth is that smoke calms bees because the bees think there is a fire. The reason why smoke calms bees is because of pheromones. If you know anything about bee biology, and you know that the way bees communicate is through pheromones. So what smoke does is masks these pheromones. So therefore, whenever you smoke your bees, they can't communicate. And if they can't communicate, that means they can't communicate to each other to attack the person who just opened up their hive. So then they aren't as aggressive or defensive. So no, smoke does not make the bees think that there's a fire. That's not true. The smoke masks the pheromones and simply doesn't let them communicate. The 10th myth is that if a hive has queen cups, they are going to swarm. Queen cups are not the same as queen cells. Cups are always present in most colonies. They're like practice cups or placeholders. Bees build them even when they have no intention of swarming. Real swarm cells are charged with royal jelly and usually appear in larger numbers. A hive with empty cups isn't announcing a swarm, it's just being prepared for future possibilities. Look for charged queen cells, not cups, before assuming swarming. The 11th myth is that drones are useless and just eat resources. And this is partly true in winter because that's why bees kill them off in fall going into winter, but they really do serve an important role. And that role is mating with queens. So worker bees come from fertilized eggs. And so for a queen to lay a fertilized egg, she has to have sperm, and that sperm is from a drone, and drones have to mate with a queen for that sperm to go into the queen's spermatheca. That's where the queen stores the sperm, and that's whenever she lays eggs, she uses that sperm to fertilize an egg. So drones are very important. They aren't useless. So the 12th myth is that you can tell a hive is healthy by how busy the entrance looks. Entrance activity can fool you. A small, weak hive might have a lot of foragers, making it look stronger than it is. A huge hive might appear calm because most bees are working inside. Robbing also looks like high traffic, and beginners misread it as productivity. And during brood breaks or cooler days, entrances slow down even in very strong colonies. The real health indicators are inside the hive: brood patterns, food stores, and population, not the landing board. So the 13th, and probably will be our final myth, is that if a hive has brood, if it just has brood, it must be very healthy. Brood alone doesn't mean much. A hive can have brood, but still be in trouble. Brood can be spotty, sick, or infected with mites or viruses. A failing queen can lay brood inconsistently. Colonies with DWV or PMS often still raise brood right before collapsing. A truly healthy brood nest is solid, well fed, well covered, and has all stages present. Just having brood is too simple. Quality matters more than presence. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I very much appreciate it and cannot be here without you. If you will, share this video out to your social medias, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're most active on. And if you will, please click that thumbs up button, because if you click that thumbs up button, it helps this video get out to more viewers and hopefully will help beekeepers not follow these myths that aren't true. My name is Grayson, and thank you all so much for watching.